Hey guys, Artosis here, and guess what we are doing? Well, you already clicked on the video, so I guess you know, but BSL's round of 14, or round of 8 for Season 14 is here. It's another great bracket full of a bunch of very strong foreign pro gamers, so we're going to be casting some of that. Hope that you guys do enjoy. I have a lot of respect for these players. Here in the top right, we have the Peruvian Terran Dandy. This guy has been one of the strongest macro Terrans in the non-Korean scene for many, many years. And yeah, I think it's good to see him doing well here in this BSL. And in the bottom right, of course, we have Dewalt. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I think he's probably my pick for the #1 non-Korean, even though now that kind of Mihu is popping his head up, maybe I can't really say that anymore. But yeah, definitely one of those very top-end players. Should be a good match. The first map here is Butter, so it's great to see this very interesting new ASL map being used in BSL. So big cheers to Zero, by the way, for putting on BSL, or the Bombastic StarLeague. You can check it out at bombasticstarleague.com. And yeah, it's going to be fun. See what goes down here. Butter, of course, a 2-player map. Dewalt sending a probe up rather quickly. Sure, he'll get a offensive gas. There's like no question on that. Right? He's got to go get the gas. You got to go get the gas, Dewalt. Okay, okay. Waited for the very last second there to take that gas. And of course with Dandy here, doesn't know for sure if there is like a proxy or anything outside. The probe. Ooh! Getting attacked quite heavily there for a moment. And looks like Dewalt does want to go for a Nexus first after that gas. So let's see. Like, Dandy's not making a second rack, so the odds of him being able to punish are actually pretty darn low here. In fact, you don't need to go Forge or anything like that. If they do go for the second racks, you definitely do need Forge to hold on. But since that's not the case, we should see from Dewalt just the gateway coming in here. Now, the probe still, of course, kept alive. Dandy throwing down a second depot. And we'll see. If you're going to attack with the Marine, you have to do it, like, immediately. You have to send, like, 3 SCVs to 4 SCVs right now and rally the Marines. But honestly, I don't think it's a very good play. I think better here is probably making 2 Marines. One you send at the base, just to make sure that they aren't being too greedy. And one to chase the probe around and help kill the gas. But it looks like he's not going to send one down, which I think is fine as well. The command center going to be started, of course, quite a bit later than Dewalt's. Dewalt is about 75% done as the command center starts. So a little bit painful there. And of course, you have to take a bunch of SCVs off mining. They'll actually lose more minerals than this costed getting that killed off. And the probe continues to do his dirty work. Oh my god. Dandy's SCV almost falls, but he does get it to glitch out in the other direction. So finally, Dewalt's probe is gone. We have this gas being attacked down, so we should see that, yeah, cleared up. Bunker on the way. Okay, everything's, like, this isn't that odd a position, honestly, with Eclipse in the map pool. I'm sure both of these players have been in a position that looks just like this plenty of times. 4 Marines going to go into the bunker. Of course, you don't want any more than that. It's absolutely a waste, but the 4 Marines will help to put out a little bit more damage there against incoming Zealots and things like that. And from here, Dandy just has to get his factories up ASAP. Looks like the barracks going to float down here. Probably land here as part of a wall-in. The single Zealot popping up. I don't think he'll even try to run it by or anything. Way too much damage from that bunker. SCV actually still alive over here, which is quite nice. And also, by the way, you can see that there is a lot of minerals here for Dandy. And, you know, this is just a problem that can happen when you get offensive gas. If you go for only 1 barracks and you manage everything pretty well, you just pop up in minerals. And there's a few different ways you can go about that. You can do things like get a second gas a little bit quicker. Obviously, you'll throw down the second factory immediately. That's, like, always going to be the case here. Oh, he is going to try to run by here with a couple Zealots. That is so annoying to deal with. But the 4 Marines, well, they can't quite just attack, move, and beat this. You are going to need to have some micro, and let's see how he does against this. Now, Robo coming up for Dewalt, as well as range. Robo almost done here at the natural. Looks like, I think he did actually maybe kill the SCV there. And, I mean, the Zealot isn't really learning anything he didn't already know, to be honest. I guess you get to check if it's something crazy, like some sort of bio all-in. But almost every single time it'll be 2 factories behind. Well, the 3 Marines going to head back. Single Dragoon up here, but of course no range as of yet. 2 more gates coming up, as well as the robotic support base. So it is going to be Reaver with 3 gate, which actually is not very common at all. That's interesting. Oh, you know what? I think what we're going to end up seeing here is a very defensive Dewalt. Like, he'll harass some with the Reavers, but the fact that he has 3 gates plus Reaver tech means that any pressure build that Dandy does here, like pushing out with tanks and Marines, doesn't really have any chance of working. As long as Dewalt is producing nonstop, he'll have enough units to stop it. In fact, just in general, like 3-gate Observer can stop any 2-fact pressure. Pretty dead in its tracks unless you really miss micro. But with the Reaver mixed in there as well, it should be really easy. Like, literally 1 Scarab will blow up the Marines, and then the push is basically held. But it's not the end of the world, honestly, for Dandy, because he's not, like, he is definitely going to try to get some vultures out there at least. Like, he's pushing back with that tank against these few goons. But we see that he's going for the armory, throwing up some turrets. He's getting speed in mines and focusing on vulture production as opposed to tank production, which means that he's just going to be trying to get some vultures on the map. Kind of an older school type of way to play this position, but it's a good one from Dandy. Now Dewalt coming up as a Reaver, as well as a couple Zealots in there. In that shuttle. More Dragoons coming, getting ready for another base as well. Starting to get his wall in done. Observatory is here. Oh, this is kind of crazy. And you know what? This might actually end up working, considering he did skip siege mode. Tries to lay an offensive mine down. Does get taken out immediately. Uh-oh. This is some bad news right now for Dandy. Oh my god. Insane Scarab right there. And the siege tank ends up going down. 2 more tanks are on the way. Oh my god. That is so much damage right there. And Dewalt with the instantaneous punish against this just slightly greedy Dandy. You know, normally after the gas seal, you do have to rush into siege mode, and Dandy tried to skip that. I can't blame him. You feel like you're a bit behind in that situation for sure. And look at this. Drops the Zealot out to take some hits. Gonna go ahead and hit these tanks, and he kills both of them off. This game is really not going well for Dandy. In fact, I would go ahead and say that this game is almost over. Yeah, it's not looking very good for our Terran player. He's not mining from his natural. Dewalt has started his 3rd Nexus down here. Lots of Dragoons coming in. Siege mode is still not done. And it's a funny thing, you know. Well, funny in a very sad way, but as Terran, if you are going to try to be a little bit greedy and they do the right thing, like Dewalt here just kind of dived on him. I guess he realized that there was no siege mode. But yeah, by skipping that siege mode, Dandy has kind of sealed his own fate, unfortunately. And it looks like game number 1 is going to end up going to Dewalt here. Hard to imagine any other way. This is actually really great micro against the Reaver, I have to hand to him. Like, he's splitting his units up, and that was very well dealt with. And he's repairing the hell out of this siege tank. So he actually does push that goon back as well. Dandy trying to get up to 4 facts. Like, Dewalt's spending all of his units, but I don't think that that really matters, right? He's adding additional gates. He's up over 20 workers right now. His 3rd Nexus is going to be finishing up here. Looks like Dewalt misses the opportunity to possibly kill off this siege tank as well. And with the more tanks coming out, he will pull back with those Dragoons. But yeah, this situation for Dandy, he just doesn't have the SCV count. Like, if he still had 40 SCVs, I'd say, okay, you know what? He might be able to get enough units out to not die when Dewalt maxes, but Dewalt's probe count is high enough that his macro is really going to kick in here very, very shortly. All right, in comes yet another push from Dewalt. This one might be the game ender. Going after that back siege tank. Yeah, he'll be able to pick that off. Down it goes. No units left over. The shuttle ends up dying. Like, Dandy is doing his best trying to hold on. But Dewalt, pretty relentless with this, even makes that pylon wall so the vultures can't get in for their harassment. Couple more tanks coming out, gonna push this back. But yeah, you can see Dewalt, like, he is starting to bank up. He's up 25 workers right now. Looks like he's going to sacrifice a goon to just walk through mines here so he can clear this a little bit more quickly. Obviously, we're throwing away a Dragoon so you can push the vultures back. You do not want to be losing those probes. That's, like, one of the only things that could really go wrong for him here. Like, I guess if you lost all the probes at your third, you'd have to start giving Dandy some more chances here. More gates coming up. Legs being started as well. Danny has laid a few mines around the map. I mean, he does have +1. But again, 36 workers is like a very easy way to kind of look at the game and realize that even though he's got some units right now, you know, it takes a while for workers to really pay for themselves and get your economy flowing, right? Like, they both had pretty steady unit production. They traded a lot of armies. But at the end of the day, Dewalt has so many more workers that you see him just starting to explode with this production. His supply is going to go up and up and up. He's going to double the supply. He'll probably get even further ahead than that. It's like 4 factory production pretty much nonstop here for Dandy. And starts a command center, so he's definitely, you know, obviously he can't attack. But he's definitely looking to try to make this game a bit longer by expanding to his third base. But honestly, I can't see Dewalt even allowing the expansion to the third. It's got a new Reaver, got a new shuttle here. Throwing down even defensive photon cannons just in case something like a dropship comes in. You know, tough map, tough opening here for Dandy, even though he actually did pick this map, which I find interesting. You know, I think Dandy in general likes gasless expands, so maybe he feels comfortable against offensive gas. You know, obviously that's something that happens a lot right now. It's a very popular thing to do, and Eclipse has been around forever, so everyone has a bunch of practice against it. So seems like that might be what Dandy was going for there, right? It was like, oh, okay, I'm really comfortable in this position, and you know, that can definitely be a player-specific thing where you do feel comfortable in a difficult position. But he sets up a little bit. It's a good setup. But can you defend here, here, yeah, and other possible flying locations? Dewalt always could just get like shuttle speed and bomb in there. And yeah, he does in fact have that shuttle speed. Looks like he will in fact bomb in there, and like one missile turret won't do anything. So, I mean, this is... it gets worse and worse. Literally expecting a GG the second Dewalt makes this move. I think as soon as it unloads, like his army is all out here, and here Dewalt goes. Dandy trying to make something happen, but that is going to be it. Looks like game number 1 here in this round of 8. This best of 5 goes to Dewalt.